Hey mamas, what's up my nap time warriors? This is Mama Shira from DIY Mama Tribe. So glad to have you guys with me. This channel has DIYs and craft projects that you should be able to complete in 1 or 2 nap times. So today we're going to get into this cute little garland swag that I made for my baby's room. It has the alphabet that features some strong women, and yeah, let's get into it.
So as I stated, this swag is going to feature these postcards that have American women throughout history. You can see Angela, Billie Jean King, Carol Burnett, and just on and on and on, A through Z. So I thought that would be a pretty cool feature to not just get the alphabet into my baby's room, but also a little bit of American history. So these are the materials I'm using. I just grabbed a bunch of fabrics that I thought worked well together, as well as I had these 2 strings of pom-poms that I had in my old apartment but didn't have a use for currently until now. So I'm just seeing what the length of these this string of pom-poms is. I'm going for 24-inch lengths for all of my cuts for this garland. This garland is one of those fabric garlands that you have the strips of fabric that are all the same length. So my cutting space here is exactly 24 inches. So I'm just going to cut down or rip down all of my fabric to 24 inches long, and then I'm going to cut them into about 2 to 3 inch wide strips. So first I need to get this jagged edge off of this particular piece, but then I'm going to start cutting some strips. So I'm not being super exact. I'm just kind of eyeballing the widths, because really for a garland like this, it doesn't matter. You're not going to mess it up. So don't stress about getting everything exactly the right width. So now that I have all of my strips of fabric cut up, I'm going to work on the postcards. Now they're bound together in like this booklet, so I need to rip all of those out, as well as punch some holes at the top of them so that they can be strung up in the garland as well. And as I'm looking at this, I decide that I'm also going to use the cover, the front and back cover of the booklet as well, because it's a cool intro and outro to a hanging piece like this. Trying to be super careful. Don't want to rip any of them. So like I mentioned before, I just cut down the cover, made sure the edges were nice and neat. And then I'm going to also punch some holes in the top of it. But I have to use scissors for that. I'm just marking where I want the holes with this hole punch because I know it won't go through. And I'm going to get through all of my postcards first, and then start to just kind of work some holes into the front and back cover with my scissors. I put down a piece of cardboard first so I don't, jam a hole in my table. And that seemed to work pretty well. So now all materials are gathered and I'm just trying to divide everything up. The way I'm doing this fabric garland is it's going to be 4 different tiers of fabric as well as alphabet cards. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I know it sounds weird, but basically there'll be 4 different strings. So I'm dividing up my cards into 4 equal sections. Oh, a spoon. How about that? And I'm also going to divide up my fabric right after this. I just found it easier to work in my daughter's room where I was already going to be hanging the garland. And so I'm just using her crib to kind of divvy out all the fabric strips. They don't have to be the exact number for each layer, for each tier, but I wanted them to be similar in thickness. So I want to get them close enough to having an equal number of fabric strips per string of garland. And of course, the baby had a grand old time playing with them while I was working. Really, for a project like this, you're not gonna mess it up. So again, don't stress about having everything super exact. I'm just doing this here to kind of have a close enough to even amount of swags per string of garland.
Hey, I just wanted to say, if you are learning anything at all, any new technique, any kind of value has been added to your life, I'm gonna ask that you hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks.
So here I just put up some picture hangers. I put 2 kind of high up and 2 midway down the wall, because I'm gonna hang 2 tiers from each one. So that's just how I put those up. And here I'm just dividing up, I'm cutting some twine, or maybe it's jute, same difference. I'm cutting some string and working through my cards, getting ready to hang them first. So I found it easier, or for the look that I wanted, to go ahead and put a string of cards and then work out how to put the string of fabric streamers, the fabric garland, kind of behind it. You'll see exactly what I mean in a bit, but first I'm working on getting these postcards up. Step 1, get the postcards up. I'm kind of moving them down and seeing like how I like the length of it. How does it look hanging, you know, the dip of it. I know there's an actual word for that measurement, but I can't think of it, guys. Put it in the comments below if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how low I want it to swag and just spacing it out according to what looks good to my eye. Of course, this may work out different for your room or what you prefer to do, but this is kind of what I settled on. And then the second string from the same hook. So that is going to affect how low it hangs down the line, because of course it's going a little bit lower because I'm trying to get those letters just under the letters above it. Yeah, had to think about that. And you see, I don't want to hide any letters, so I'm kind of working like, okay, how far do I need to hang this in order for all the letters to be seen? And guys, alternately, you could just do a straight line across the top of a wall, or even a very simple swag in one layer across the top of the wall. But I liked the feature of this wall, and I wanted all the alphabet to be in this one specific area of the room, because the rest of the room is so jam-packed full of fun. And you can see a tour of that. I'll link a card or a link in the description bar where you can see the nursery tour for the rest of the room. But yeah, I just wanted to keep it on one wall, so I did 4 swags. So that's the alphabet up, and now I need to work in the fabric. So I'm going to give you a close-up of this in a bit, but what I'm doing is just folding it in half and taking the folded end on one side of the string and pulling the tails of the fabric through it around the string. Really simple, barely there slip knot. Just taking the fold around the back of the string and pulling the tails through. I know a lot of us have already made garlands like this, but just in case you haven't, this is how you do it. So this is so you can see a little bit closer. Fold behind the string, open it up, pull the fabric tails through, and tighten it just a bit. Also, there is no rhyme or reason to the order in which I'm putting these fabrics. I'm just trying to mix it up. And then I just work the postcards back to the front. I push the fabric just behind it. Now, I don't end up keeping this way. I thought maybe I could put a few in between postcards on the lower tiers, but it turns out that I just didn't like the way that looked. So I'm just going to do another string behind that one in the same way that I did the top one. And for the third string and fourth string as well. Just fabric, swag, strips, fabric, garland strip swags. You get it. The fabric goes behind the postcards. So many strips of fabric later, this is how it came out. I am super pleased with it. I love how it kind of looks like a ruffly dress. And I just love how unapologetically feminine it is behind these images of these strong women throughout American history. And I just feel like it's teaching my daughter so many lessons in one glance. Like, you got your alphabet, you got your positive role models, you have your unapologetic femininity, just boom, there it is. I ended up placing the pom-poms just in random places where I saw fit. But yeah, I love how it's just super girly but strong at the same time.
Okay, super cute, right? I'm really happy with the way that Garland swag deal came out. It's made with materials that were either given to us or I just already had in my craft lounge. Super easy to put together, not as complicated as it looks. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you're able to make a similar project perhaps. And if you do, please tag me on Instagram at DIY Mama Tribe. Don't forget to like this video if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.